AskRedd by Aisha 2313. What are you starting to like less the older you get? If you ever need help, then please know that there are many qualified people who would like to help you. https://www.iasp.info/resources/crisis_centers http://www.befrienders.org/ http://www.suicidepreventionleafurline.org/get help/lifeline-chat.aspects http://www.samaritans.org/how-we-can-help-you UK https://www.lifeline.org.au/get-help/AAU. There are crisis services worldwide that are trained to provide support. They are designed to give temporary relief from feelings that are overwhelming you, and while they are unlikely to fix any underlying problems, can help you get through a tough hour-night week. Chat services are usually available on these sites. In the US, calling 211 or going to their website is a free referral source. They have providers who will see you regardless of your ability to pay. Just as you would see a doctor when you are sick, you deserve to take care of your mental health. Waking up at 5 AM to piss. I did that this morning. I'm just happy I was able to go back to sleep for another 2 hours before getting up for work. Social media. I've already pared it down to Reddit and Instagram years ago, but honestly could do without IG too now. I'm down to Reddit. I have no desire for the other platforms anymore. Lack of leisure time. When I was younger, it wasn't a rodeo to go from work to gym to home to right back out half an hour later to bar hop or movie or something. Now it's like work. Or hell, gym? Not even half an hour to chill? No. FCK. After gym I'm not doing shit the rest of the night. Anything with a lot of hype that requires me to stand in a long ass line. I saw a truly ridiculous line at a state fair a couple months ago. Was wondering what it was for. Not that I'd stand in it anyway, but curious. It was insanely long, like I can't even think of the proper superlatives for the size of this line. I asked a friend about it. Donuts. Just some fucking donuts. These donuts could have been handcrafted by God himself with flour grown in the fields of heaven and kneaded with bald eagle tears. I wasn't going to spend hours of my day in that line, especially when I'm at a fair and have so many other things to do with the limited time I get there. Loud noises in general. I've always been sensitive to loud noises, but it seems to have gotten worse lately. That my parents are getting older. Oh, this thought really depresses me. I can't imagine how I'll be if when the only people who love me are gone from this world. I sometimes selfishly hope I leave before they do, if only so I don't have to grieve their loss, as if them grieving the loss of their child is somehow better. FML. Dating scene and overall toxicity in it. Yes. But I find I also am better at understanding the type of person I am looking for and more willing to filter out people who might be conventionally attractive but not my kind of person. Going to the damn grocery store. So many people have zero situational awareness skills that I feel like half the time I'm dodging people and avoiding busy aisles more so than I ever did. It is so mentally exhausting for me nowadays, and it makes me sad, because I used to enjoy it more. How fast time is slipping away from me rather than how slow it used to be as a kid. At the time the 4 years of high school felt like 8, and the 10 years since I graduated high school have felt like 4. I hate losing interest in things I used to love. Feel this. Used to love video games, but now I can't stand more than 30 minutes of my favorite ones before getting bored. Don't know if it's a mental thing or if I'm just losing it, but it's wild that it happened so fast. Loud places. Like bars and parties and stuff like that. I don't understand pubs that can't decide if they want to be a club or a pub. People come just to have a burger, a beer and a conversation, and the place has speakers blasting music no one is listening to. Can only talk to the person just next to me. Just ruins the experience. Shopping for anything, including groceries. Shopping used to be fun. Now it is a chore. I feel this way too. All I want to do is get what I need and get out. Driving. I used to drive to do fun stuff like pick up my friends, go places I wanted to be, or just cruise during the night and enjoy the air. Now I drive to work. Even though my car is a million times more fun to drive, I'm perpetually annoyed. When I was 17, I was rolling around in a Hyundai Elantra with loads of mechanical issues and no inspection sticker. And I drove that fucker everywhere. I'm bored. Let's drive to Maine. I'm bored. Let's drive to Rhode Island. Now I'm driving a much nicer car and my 10-minute drive home from work is just not satisfying. Feeling like I've done all the right things yet the goalposts keep moving farther out. I keep getting higher paying jobs, yet the ridiculous cost of living keeps negating my pay rises. Social events. The mental preparation beforehand followed by the wide range of personalities at said event, exhausting. And when you make the plans you're always so excited about going out and doing something social, but when that day comes how you feel about it is a crapshoot. You're feeling social that day and you're super jazzed for your event, but more than likely you're just not feeling it. Honestly, leaving the house. I used to be a social butterfly and now I have to convince myself to go get basic necessities and go to work. OMG yes. I just want to stay home and be left alone. Crowds. I'm the guy at house parties that sits outside by the fire pit all night. Find the resident dog. You got a pal all night. Alcohol. It's getting harder for me to bounce back on Sunday fun days. So much so that I moved them to Saturday. The fact that 2 beers doesn't get me drunk, but does get me a hangover, makes the whole thing feel very not worth it. Having social interactions, even going out with my friends is tiring. Yeah, my mom with Alzheimer's lives with me so I basically have no life anymore. 33 yo. My budders had to drag me out of the house and we went to some Halloween parties last night. Loud music, lots of drinks, hot scantily clad women everywhere. Granted I did have some fun, but all I could think about was whether my mom was about to burn the house down. If she wasn't a factor I'd have no objection to staying out until 4 to 5 AM, even knowing my old ass would take 3 days to recover. But instead I just tapped out early to beat the traffic lol. The world in general, it feels less and less like it has anything to do with me, more alien and absurd with each passing year. Perhaps that's natural for a creature that is closer to death than birth. You are no longer the demographic. At least that's what I think is happening to me. Fake friendships. People. What a bunch of bastards. Sounds like we're all fucking depressed, eh? Junk food. I can tell when I'm malnourished and it feels good to eat vegetables. Came to say this. Sweets. Candy. Cakes. I bought a bag of gummy worms a while back and only ate a couple and trashed the rest. I used to love those. People. Do not stay in the service industry longer than 10 years. It really changes your perspective of how we live in the system we are in, USA. Damn, I thought it was just me. I got out of the industry in 2012 after 20 plus years and I swear it's what made me hate people the way I do, and it just gets worse the older I get. Becoming a hermit and living off the grid sounds more and more like heaven every day. As much as I hate to say it, video games. Not that I like them less inherently, but it feels like as an adult, I'm entering into a long-term relationship every time I start a new video game that I don't have time for. The pile of shame for unfinished video games is real. For me it's the time sink factor. As a kid you didn't feel guilty dumping your entire weekend into a video game. As an adult, I feel bad if I spend even half a day playing a game when I know I've got something or other I should be doing. Edit. To all the people commenting that they're adults with time to play video games, that's great, you do you. Now shut up lol. Small talk. Getting out of bed. Roller coasters. The more I see how little people care about their jobs, the more I question how well put together those things are, especially at fairs and carnivals. Oof, I feel you. There was a local church fair that I loved as a kid because they had real rides and my parents would hand me $20, buy me a weekend bracelet and set me free. Now I look at those rust buckets that are run by people who have achieved apathy as a state of existence, and I'm shocked that there was never an accident in all their years of running the fair. Especially on the zipper. I think it's literally the same one they have pictures of in the 80s. Social media. It's a literal biblical level plague. I went back on Twitter a few weeks ago. For my new account, they were directing me to a home screen which suggested all sorts of content whether I was following people or not. It gathered that I liked a few people who posted some political stuff, and so Twitter opened a fire hose of political content on me, all of it highly partisan and highly inflammatory. For a few days it really did boost my engagement with it until I noticed that I was now carrying levels of anger within me that I had never before known in my life. I deleted it that night. Dating. I just turned 40 and I feel like I may never find someone. Met my fiancé at 49, never say never. Huge gatherings of people. Parties are cool. But like festivals, concerts, anything where people are shoulder to shoulder and packed in somewhere, no thanks. I went to a festival recently and I feel the same way you do. I did enjoy it, but I stay way far in the back where I have reasonable space. When I was a teenager I would get there early so I could be close for my favorite band. But nowadays, being stuck in the middle of massive crowd is pretty terrifying. Especially after seeing those Astroworld videos in the Woodstock 99 docs. Apps. Everyone and their mother has to have an app to download for every little thing, especially if you want to use a coupon, or earn rewards, or whatever. I'm tired of places asking me to download an app. I don't want your fucking app, I just wanna buy your shit and be done with it. Contrarians. A lot of people dislike stuff simply because it's popular. They think it makes them edgy and cool, but they just seem like defiant teenagers to me nowadays. People. Staying out late. Phone calls. Crowds. Getting older. Unnecessary noise. Ignorance. It's almost always harmful and, at some point, seems willful. Sex scenes in movies. Yeah, then what happened? Oh, you are right. I went from awkward, I shouldn't be watching this, to sexy to can't they just have a sign saying that they banged and continue with the story? It tends to be so gratuitous and unnecessary for the plot, I just don't care. Going to work. Working in general. Loud anything. Music. Vehicles. Movies. People. Animals. For the first time ever I'm actually entertaining the fantasy of living on a property somewhere semi-rural. I can't stand how noisy other people are. If it isn't their shitty modded cars blasting music and full volume, then it's their stupid dogs barking early every morning or some lazy landscaper blowing leaves into another mess further down the street. So much of what we do and have is just unnecessary noise. Deciding what to cook for dinner. You want chicken and chips, great. 3-course meal great, just tell me what you want to eat. I ate a bowl of Lucky Charms, a yogurt cup, and some chips and salsa for dinner. Lol, no mood to make anything. Teenagers. I can't believe I turned into that guy who peeks out the window whenever he hears a skateboard. I actually yelled at some kids to get off my lawn once. It was a few years ago when I was in my early 30s. Those little shits parked their bikes on the sidewalk in front of my house, sat on my lawn and ate their garbage convenience store food and leaving the wrappers and trash on my lawn. I was so mad. Staying out late. I rarely get FOMO anymore and would rather leave early or just stay home. Being in a relationship. It was so easy to walk away from my last one. I remember being so upset when a relationship ended even just 5 or 6 years ago. I have cancer now, so it'll be pretty hard to find someone else, but it's so weird, I don't even care. It's so much more peaceful being single. It may not be as fun, but the fun parts of my last relationship weren't worth nearly as much as having peace of mind most days. I'm also fantastic at masturbation, so that helps. Edited, spelling error. Corrected for the chode who is definitely single. I'm at the point where a relationship just feels like another group project, the last thing I want when I get home from work. People with huge look at me life of the party personalities who have no off switch. I spent my younger years seeking relationships with this type of person, maybe because I wished to be more like that. But after years of being the supporting sidekick bestie to a series of main characters, I find them exhausting. My other answer was doing anything at all, but that's probably depression. People. Alcohol. The government. How I look. People. The general public piss me off more every day. No manners, loud and entitled as hell.